Oh wow, so I've been using these buds for like a year now. So we've been together for like a year now, almost a year. Yeah, almost a year. And yeah, there's this question that is this Samsung Galaxy Buds 2, like that came out last year, is it still a good option in 2022? Well, let's get to it. This is the review. The greatest. Now, unboxing. But for the unboxing, we won't take too much time. Here's what you get when you order the Samsung Galaxy Buds 2. First of all, there's paperwork, which is a warranty card, and then a quick start guide. Then you get a USB-A to C cable, which is surprisingly long for earbuds. I don't know why they made it this long, but it's surprisingly long. Anyways, we have two sets of ear tips, two pairs of extra ear tips, the small and the large. The medium-sized tips are already fitted on the buds, the main deal. Okay, so let's start with the case. Okay, so the case is quite small. I love the design. It is simple and classy looking, to be honest. And then there are 4 colors available, but all of them have this white glossy exterior, which looks great. But if you want to use these buds for a long time, I advise you get a case alongside the buds. I got this case. It's a blue case because I wanted buds in blue. But then I advise to get a case or at least a skin with these buds so it to maintain the exterior, so it won't like get worn out over time if you want to use these buds for a long time. I have the graphite black color here, and then the interior is black. And then one tiny feature I noticed about these buds is that when the buds are closed, you still see a bit of black here. At the color of the buds, it still shows whichever color you get, whether the olive green or the lavender, the beautiful lavender, black or onyx black or white, is the internal color that is actually changing. The outside is the same, and then when you close it, the color you get is what determines what happens here, is what determines the color you have here. Now, moving on. It has 2 LED indicators, one on the inside right here and then one on the outside. The one on the inside indicates the charging status of the buds inside, obviously, and then the one on the outside shows the battery level or the charging status of the case. Now, when it is green, it means the battery is above 90%, and then when it is yellow, it's between 90% and let's say 30 or 20%. Then when it's red, it is below 30 or 20%, and then that means you need to charge up your case. Now for charging, when you plug in the case and then the case is already full, it shows green, but then if the case isn't full, it shows red, meaning it is still charging. Now moving on to the LED indicator on the inside. If both of the buds are fully charged, it will show green, but then if one of the buds is still charging, it will show red. So that will help you decide how to manage the buds, the life of the buds. Now, moving on. The battery of the case is a 472 mAh battery, which is capable of charging both earbuds from 0 to 100% at least 3 times, which is fair enough for me. And then the case charges with USB Type-C port on the back, and then it has 5 watts wireless charging. It also has fast wired charging, and then 5 minutes of wireless charging at 0% would give you 1 hour of music playtime on the buds, which can come in handy a lot. And that's basically everything about the case. There's nothing more I can say about the case except in the app, which is just the battery percentage. The battery percentage of the case shows up on the app only when the case is open and then the bud is inside the case. But then we'll talk about the app later. Let's move on to the buds. In my opinion, the buds look small. The buds look small when I brought it out for the first time, but that depends on who you're asking, to be honest. As you might have noticed, I have bigger ears than everyone else, and then the buds are definitely on the smaller side for me, definitely. But then one thing I missed from the previous Galaxy Buds are the wingtips. These buds do not have wingtips. As you can see, they do not have wingtips. It's all flush. It's just the only way these buds stay in your ear is from the silicone ear tip right here, and then it's not that sturdy in my opinion. Usually the wingtips will rest on the inner part of your ear, and then it just gives these Galaxy Buds a perfect fit in your ear. But then this doesn't exactly have that perfect fit because it doesn't have the wingtip, and then for people like me, that's a bad thing. The reason why I miss the wingtips from the previous Samsung Galaxy Buds is because without the wingtips, the buds have to rely on the pressure your ear canal will exert on the silicone ear tip to maintain the buds, to keep the buds in your ear. And then that means with any bit of movement, like as your ear moves maybe and then your head moves, the buds can always slip out bit by bit by bit, and then they might fall off, which happens on the right earbud more often than the left for me, because both ears are definitely not the same. So but then I guess that's just an issue for me, because for some people the wingtips are a bad thing. So I think Samsung just gave us the option to choose between having wingtips or not having wingtips, because I know some people that with the wingtips it's just very uncomfortable for them. And then for people like me that really want the wingtips, we will just leave the wingtips on our earbuds, but those who don't want it, they can just take it off. Now moving on. These buds are still comfortable regardless. You can, like, I think Samsung's buds are the most comfortable buds you would find on the market, from my experience, to be honest. Because these are the only buds that I know that you can lie in bed comfortably, rest your head on the pillow, and then you would feel like the buds are not actually existent, even though they're still in your ear. Like, it occupies the space in your ear properly, and then when the buds are in your ear, you won't feel it. And then when your head is on the pillow, you still won't feel it. So that's a green flag for me. So yes, these buds are actually very comfortable. Like, it makes you feel like the buds are non-existent, and then that's a very good thing. But then when the battery is low, you realize, oh yeah, I have to charge my buds. So that's it. Moving on, for the controls, you have the usual tap to pause or play, double tap on either side to skip forward, and then triple tap to skip back. Then when the call is coming in, you double tap to pick up the call, and then during the call, you double tap to end the call again. Now, the only settings you can actually customize here are the long presses, and then you can switch from noise controls, volume controls, Google Assistant, and then Spotify, all of which you can turn off if you feel like, and then you can customize that in the app, which I'll talk about later. Okay, so for connectivity, I had no issues connecting my laptop or my phone to this device. It was seamless, and then when it comes to connection, if you walk away too much from your phone, let's say about 7 meters or 8 meters, the connection starts to break, and then that's one thing. But then it's actually common for these type of earbuds, and then I don't see a problem with it. As long as you have your phone around you when you're listening to music, you'll be fine. And now for the audio quality, it's a Samsung signature. The audio is always top notch. It is crisp and clear, but then I do wish they had a bit more bass, because I'm coming from bass heavy earphones. That's the Oraimo Earbuds 2S. The review will be up here if you are interested in that. And then when I tried the Samsung Galaxy Buds 2 for the first time, it felt like they were lacking in beta completely. But then I actually realized that I was missing out on a lot of sounds from the songs that I listened to, from music I listened to, because the Oraimo Buds were actually more bass heavy. So the Samsung Galaxy Buds 2 are obviously better because they have better audio quality, and it's crisp and clear. The way it is tuned, it is perfect. You have enough bass and you have enough treble. The Oraimos just like pumped up the bass a little bit at the detriment of the treble, and then some bits of vocals. But then Samsung, they actually do balance it well. There is an equalizer in the settings, but then you have like 5 options. You have soft, I think you have soft, dynamic, bass boost, treble boost, and then clear. But I always choose dynamic because that gives it the V shape. Like it gives the best of everything. Like it fits almost every song rather than just having a flat tuning. But then I suggest you try out other equalizer presets to see which one fits you the most. People are different, so you try yours. Now for the call quality is actually great on these buds. I can confidently make a call with just one of these buds in my ear, and then I'll be fine. I will know that I'll be fine. The person will be able to hear me clearly, and I'll be able to hear the person clearly. But then in a noisy environment, I cannot just choose to use one earbud to make a phone call, because it has to cancel the noise around me. With almost everything with computers, having more data is better. So having both buds in your ears to process, and then you have all these microphones to process which is outside sound and which is your voice, the call quality would definitely be better. And that's for the person on the other line. Like rather than just using one earbud, where the volume of the people around you just crams in, and then it just makes it a bit messy. So it's best to use both buds when having a phone call to ensure that the audio quality is always the best. Okay, so the noise cancelling on the Samsung Galaxy Buds does surprise me. It really does, to be honest. Like sometimes when I'm in a noisy area, like a cafeteria or before a Sunday mass, when they're preparing the instruments, like outside sound from outside still leaks in through the buds. Like I still hear some of them. But then when I take out the buds, I am like, for a moment, I am surprised. I am just blown away by how much sound these buds are actually suppressing, which gives proof, or is a testimony or a testament to how good the Samsung Galaxy Buds are with active noise cancelling. These buds are a year old already, yes, I understand that, but then they are still phenomenal when it comes to active noise cancelling. And then there's also transparency mode or ambient sound as they call it, whichever one it is, the transparent clear one. Samsung did a good job at it, but then it doesn't sound as natural, or it doesn't really sound great. And what do I mean by natural? It's like transparency mode, like the name implies, is just meant to be like the buds are not in your ear. Like you can hear sounds from outside and then process it like your normal hearing would do. It's like taking out the buds but not taking out the buds. It's supposed to feel like you've taken out the buds, but then you've not physically taken out the buds. I hope that makes sense. But anyhow, moving on. That's what it's supposed to sound like. But then when you take out the buds, actually, your brain can actually regulate the sounds, which is more important, which is less important. Of course, your body, your brain, your ears will definitely put priority over voices, prioritize voices over sound of people dragging their feet and stuff like that. But then with Samsung Galaxy Buds, it doesn't do that. It just gives them the same level of voices and people dragging their feet. So it's actually quite hard to differentiate which is which, because they're all coming at you at the same volume, and it's not exactly right. Like it's not balanced. So that's why it is not natural. So if anybody says these don't sound natural, that's what we mean. That's what I mean. But then you can actually tweak around with the settings when it comes to the ambient sound, but then the AI does the best. I feel like the AI does a very good job. And there's another thing I noticed about the ambient sound. Basically, when you're running or when wind is blowing towards your face, when the ambient sound is on, the AI reduces the volume of the ambient sound, because of course when wind is blowing at your face, you can hear the wind sometimes, like it sounds weird. So the buds actually reduce the volume of ambient sound to make it more comfortable to use, in the sense that you don't hear the wind blowing in your face too much. I hope that makes sense. So I feel like that was actually a really good thing for me, because it's just a bit more comfortable. It's like it's one less thing you have to worry about. Now, moving on. Okay, so now the battery life on the Samsung Galaxy Buds was actually low-key kind of disappointing to me, because I was expecting that I would get like 11 hours of playtime, like the Samsung Galaxy Buds Plus. But then, no, you only have like 6 hours and 15 to 25 minutes of playtime with ANC on, and that was with my testing. It might vary for you depending on your volume levels. But then it's actually great. It's actually a good option, actually, if you think about it, if you realize how demanding ANC is. And then without ANC, you have like 8 to 9 hours of music playtime, like 3 extra hours. So like that's actually a really good thing. So I feel like they're actually justified. And I feel like you can assume the same for ambient sound, or maybe 7 hours. But most of the time you'll be using the bud with ANC on. So let's just say 6 hours of music playtime back to back. And then you can recharge it like 3 times, and that's 24 hours, I guess. And like that's good. That's actually the average. Okay, now let me move on to charging. Charging the buds for like 10 minutes will give you about 2 hours and 30 to 45 minutes of playtime. It takes about 45 minutes to charge the buds from 0 to 100% in the case. And then that's actually impressive for charging when it comes to the buds. That's actually a good thing in my opinion. Okay, now to the price. I got these buds for about 50,000 naira, and that's about $120 according to Jumia. But then the streets say that it is $71, so I don't know which rate you actually want to go with. But I know you can get this for 80,000 naira on Jumia. And then now let me move on to the app. Okay, in my opinion, the app is actually okay, but then there are actually some features that are available on Samsung devices only, and that won't push me to get a Samsung device, honestly. The Samsung phones are nice, yes, but then there's still a few things I would like to have in a Samsung phone, but that's stuff for another time. Let me move back to the app. Now, the only things you can do on the app that are actually impressive are adjust settings for touch controls. You can adjust the settings for ambient sound, like I've mentioned before, and then you can adjust the equalizer, and then you can do other things. But then what is new and interesting is the earbud fit test. So basically, you put the buds in your ears and then check how well it fits in your ear and how well it fits for your ears. Now, this thing works like 8 out of 10 times, and then if there's an issue, it doesn't tell you whether you need bigger ear tips or smaller ear tips. It just suggests that you change them or wear the buds properly and try again. This is definitely a step in the right direction. Yes, it's over time. I feel like it to be able to tell you that, okay, you need bigger ear tips, or okay, you need smaller ear tips, or maybe you should just adjust it properly. It doesn't tell you specifically what you need, but at least this is the first step. At least it's telling you have a problem with the buds, like you are not wearing the buds properly, so that's something good. So now, my conclusions on this device. So I feel like there are two types of people watching this video. There's person A who just wants to get Samsung Galaxy Buds 2 and then wants to know what they're getting into, and then person B who wants to decide if the Samsung Galaxy Buds 2 Plus are better than Samsung Galaxy Buds 2. Well, in my opinion, if you have the extra money, why not? Go for it. Samsung says it's better. Try it. I mean, you would love it. And then if you don't think you have enough money for that, or you don't really have that much extra to spend on the Samsung Galaxy Buds 2 Plus, then by all means get the Samsung Galaxy Buds 2. It is still the better option. You won't make a mistake, to be honest. It's Samsung, but most of the times you don't make a mistake. Most of the times. So that's everything. If you have questions, let me know down in the comment section below. Let me hear your thoughts about these buds if you've already gotten them, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.